What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jesse. Before we get started, go ahead and make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the little bell thing. Give a thumbs up. It really does mean a lot to me. It helps me a lot. It helps me keep motivated, keep track of what I'm doing, do things that I typically wouldn't do because I'd be sitting on my fat, lazy butt inside. So I appreciate you guys for holding me accountable. So let's go ahead and hop into the episode. In the last episode, we were working on the Starion, trying to get the interior fully put back together. There's some other stuff I'm filming this week, so this episode is probably gonna be a little bit shorter because we are working on some fun little dotting content. But that's a whole separate video. I'm gonna keep them separated for now. Let's go ahead and get back to the center console. What we had is we had an issue where the center console would go in, but it felt like it was pivoting in the middle somewhere. I think what's happening is the part where we fiberglass some structure into the top, I think the seat belt mechanisms are hitting that and it's not letting it sit all the way down. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the Dremel, grind out some of that stuff, see if we can get this to sit level in there so that we can get the Starion continued on. That rhyme. I'm a rapper, I'm a rhymer. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started on this so that we can get the center console in so we can finish up the interior, wrap that all up, and then work on getting this thing prepped for some Plasti Dip. We got some things we got to do to the body to get it ready. Plasti Dip's on its way. Roger came out, took a look at the car. We're set, we're golden. We're gonna do some cool stuff. It's not gonna be your typical Plasti Dip job either, so stay tuned for that. Let's go ahead and hop into the center console. I'm excited. Well, there we go. Center console is back in. Those parts that I thought needed trimmed did need trimmed. It was just some fiberglass in the section like up in here where I tried to strengthen it. I did add a little too much, trimmed it out. We are back to having, and I gotta clean it out, but we're back to having an interior even better than before because if you remember on one of the last episodes, we did the back. So we are cooking. I'm so excited to have this thing back together, interior everything, and get this car where I would like it to be, at least for now. Now that the interior is addressed, headlights are done. Next big thing that we are going to work on is we are going to get this body ready for Plasti Dip. Like I said before, I do have a shorter episode this week because I have to take a trip on Saturday. I will not have time to edit. So I have to have this all done while working a full-time job and everything. I have to have this episode done and edited by Friday night. I can possibly edit a little Saturday night when I get home, but it has to all be filmed. We're gonna do some basic little stuff to get this thing ready. Let me walk you around and show you the things that we are gonna address before we Plasti Dip the car. Okay, so right here, I have a dent and a little bit of paint issue. I have to sand that down. Get the dent out. I'm gonna take this to my friend Anthony to do some PDR on it. He's amazing at PDR, does an awesome job. I'm gonna take it to him, have him remove some dents, get this thing looking pretty straight because Plasti Dip will not hide the dents and stuff. This dent's gonna get taken care of. I am gonna take off the plastic strips on the side, like the little trim pieces. I do need to address things like this, the peeling stuff on the spoiler. These spoilers are super soft. If you have a Starion, you know, these are soft. And I think what happened was, this is me peeling some of it just to show Roger when he was here. But I think what happened is this stuff was, I know it was resprayed. I know the car is resprayed because it is Palermo, something gray. I know it looks gold, but that's the color. And it looks a lot like the color, but it is not the right color. It is off. So I know it's been resprayed, but we have to get all of this stuff off because this will not go well for our Plasti Dip. So we're gonna peel all this off as far back as we can, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna sand it, feather it out the best we can to make it look nice. Stuff like this down here will be taken care of, some of this trim here. I'm gonna sand this stuff down, respray it, same with the sunroof here. I am gonna test the leak because I'm gonna make a decision on if I'm just gonna glue the sunroof in for now because there was a leak. If you follow me at all, you know that this was raining. I'll see if I saw the video. It was raining inside the car. I found my problem. If you look right there, and then it rains inside the car. Oopsies. That's the problem. A lot of issues I had to fix before I started filming stuff again, but I don't know if I'm just gonna glue this sunroof in. I really don't even open it. I know it is aftermarket, it does pull out, so it does open up all the way. I may test that, see how good it is sealing, and if it's not sealing good, I may just go ahead and seal the sunroof in. But I do want to sand the trim, get the trim done. That way, the trim up there is painted, because and Roger made a really good point. He said you could do it before or after, it doesn't really matter. However, there's less to worry about overspray wise now, as opposed to once it's dipped. If I get overspray on it, it's gonna be a pain in the ass. So I am gonna take care of the trim now before we get to the point of plasti dipping it. I got the front grille out. I'm gonna paint that. I'm gonna paint my side markers. I'm gonna paint my fog light bezels. I may redo the fog lights and stuff. And then this fender has seen better days. So I am replacing this fender. I did buy a fender from a friend of mine. I'm gonna scuff this thing down. It's a much straighter fender. And then I'm gonna get that put on the car prior to plasti dipping it. So it's gonna look like a hodgepodge under the plasti dip, but the plasti dip on it will look great. I'm excited to tell you guys and show you guys what color we're going with. It's gonna be super cool. And it's not just the color, there's some other stuff we're gonna do with it as well. The rest of this episode is probably gonna be me taking off the trim panels, the fog light bezels, stuff like that, prepping them for paint, maybe painting them. I don't know how much time I'll have, but let's go ahead and get started on that stuff. Okay, so we're kind of prepped on these. I've sanded them down all the way down to 180. I'm gonna prime them with some filler primer real quick, and then we're gonna go ahead and spray them. I just taped everything off. I'm not super worried about the body. It's all super dusty anyway, which is a good thing. If you're planning on painting and your body's super dusty, it helps so you don't get any overspray on it. But I'm not super worried about the body because we're getting ready to get it plasti dipped anyway. That's what we're prepping all this stuff for. So my goal for the rest of this video, I'm gonna get these painted, done. That'll wrap us up for that. I also got the trim peeled off here. I got the badges taken off the back, which I will touch on next video. Next video is, the plan is to have this completely ready for plasti dip, ready to go, prepped 100%, and maybe plasti dip. It just depends on the scheduling and everything, but at least having this ready, and then we'll probably, if we don't have anything left on this, we'll move on to this. Easter egg. Yeah, we'll move on to this thing. So let's go ahead and finish off the video. Let's go ahead and get this primed, get it painted, and be ready to roll. All right, we are wrapped up on that. This will flash over. It is real glossy right now, but it is a matte finish. So it will flash over. I just have to get going. On that note, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up today. Thank you for tuning in every Sunday at noon Eastern Standard Time. I appreciate you guys. I do have t-shirts for sale, some of the old spooled up merch, some Team Rocket merch. If you guys want something, just let me know. I am trying to sell some stuff so that I can get, just pay for some of the stuff that I'm doing around here. And also it's cool to support. I'll make you some good deals on some t-shirts, especially if you buy multiples, you, your kids, your family, whatever. Either way, wraps it up for the day for the Starion. I appreciate you guys tuning in all the time. You guys are awesome. The Starion content's been so fun to make, and it keeps me motivated to make more. So on that note, gonna load up the stuff. I'm just rambling at this point. I'm gonna load up the stuff, get going so I can get heading on the road in the morning. You guys have a great day. Catch you later. Bye. What if I said I'm sorry? Maybe